What a start. All right. Hi, and welcome to the Thinking Out Loud podcast. My name is Jendrek.
My name is Masha.
And we are English teachers who provide excellent listening content to you. Thanks for being with us.
Getting more and more ambitious. Okay.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Masha, nice to see you. I'm glad we are able to connect. And
nice to see you too, with all the problems you have in France. Oh my God, my sympathy.
Yeah, it's true. Guys, we are lacking medicines, fuel, and what else? And electricity in France.
Jesus Christ!
Right? It's unlike in Ukraine. These guys are living like kings there. But yeah, at least that's what the media tell us, because me personally, I haven't experienced any outages so far. But they say that yesterday, for example, on TV, they were talking about pharmacies. And if there are outages, you know what happens to the drugs the few that are still left in the fridges in pharmacies, they simply, go to waste. So no medicine, no treatment, forget about it. We'll all die here.
And not even generators for you, because we have them.
Yeah, because Ukraine
you
is
can't find them in Eastern Europe.
There's only one way out. There's only one way out. Zelensky has to sign the deal. Come on, sign that deal. Give them the territory, and then we can happily live here in France, in warmth, with antibiotics, with electricity, of course, and maybe the fuel will also come back to the
foie gras. What happens to foie gras?
Yeah, there's a problem too, because there was, I guess, the birds flu or whatever, some kind of epidemic. It killed all the geese. And the foie gras is only right now for the rich ones.
And we need all the geese, because we biologically programmed them to kill, what was it, Russians. Do you know?
Oh, you see.
So we got all the geese, all the generators. Sorry, guys, you stand no chance.
You're a nuisance. Why don't you surrender? Why can't things go back to what they were? I mean, that would make things much easier.
Yeah.
All right, guys. I hope you smell the sarcasm here, but but yeah, I'm not joking when I say that we are living through some kind of turbulence here in France, and that also includes a strike. A school strike, at least in my son's school. So each day between 11:30 and 1:30, I have to pick up my son. I have to take care of my son, basically, because there's no school canteen and no the whatever are the people who look after children. No, they're not teachers, actually. They're the people who look after children during the break between classes. So I don't know if officially was their name, but anyway, they are striking, and
we
the
don't
strike
have
has
any
been
people
going on
who look after children
for a
between
month.
Classes.
For a month, can you believe it? And I remember the days when we were complaining that there's a strike one day a month, always, just one day they're striking, and now we have a month incessant strike, going on for a month, and probably it will last till Christmas, and who knows if it goes into the new year. Why not? It's nice always to make the famous rentrée, and why not feel the pain of strike. Why not? This is horrible. However, what do you do? You just go on living, and what, you change your day, and that's it.
Yes.
But
you
other than that, the sunshine, yeah, we have sunshine, so
and sunshine is better than electricity.
Oh yeah. All right, great. I want to ask, all these current developments aside, I wanted to ask you, how do you feel being one of the let's say top podcasters in education? because remember, we are in the top 4%. Guys, before you start clapping your hands, it's the top 4 in terms of quantity. I'm sorry to say that, not quality, unfortunately. But we are on the good path, let's say.
So
But it's the top 4% in terms of quantity. So how do you feel about that anyway?
I didn't ponder. I only found it out last week, I guess. Yeah. So it didn't really sink in.
I didn't really sink in, right? All right, so you have to sleep on it.
A little bit more, yeah, a little bit longer,
a bit more. Fine. But that's
How do you
popularity.
feel? How do you feel?
I feel great. I was surprised. I think they make this wrapped. Spotify makes wrapped, in such a way that it makes you feel great. No matter if you're a crappy podcaster or if you're a loser or fine. But I'm happy, because this is really something. I feel bad if we don't record an episode a week. I feel like something's missing. It has become a large part of my, let's say, professional life. But it's great. Where will this take us? I don't know. Next season, guys, next year, my ambition, I don't know about you, Masha, but my ambition is, to keep meeting regularly and to have some guests here.
Oh yeah, that would be nice.
What do you think? Guests, meaning other podcasters, if possible, to make our podcast grow, so that they talk about us, we talk about them, how it works. You scratch my back, I scratch yours. But I'd also like to see some students here. Yes, students, because I've already said it, that I'm surprisingly I don't want to say unintelligent, but I'm surprisingly really uncreative here. I mean, when you ask me a question, I'm kind of, I have a feeling that, I struggle. Every time we finish the conversation, I have like 1,000 better arguments, better thoughts, But I feel like when I'm talking with my students, they always seem to be smarter than myself, And so that's why I'd like to see them here.
Shine
I know it's
here
shine here. Yes, I know that if it's being recorded, you're maybe more shy or something, but we'll see how it works. I know that I would like to see all of my students here, but obviously this needs persuading and so on, but I hope it will be possible. That would be great, to have this kind of show with you here on air, and with the huge audience that we have. 20 people per episode, we could name all of them like by names, and say, oh, hi Kasia, hi Maciek, hi whatever, it's like
I'd like to say great. Thank you to
and I want to mention Maciek once again. He said that mentioning his name, and mentioning anybody's name on the show motivates you to listen to it.
Oh, okay, great.
Yeah, so it's great maybe to also mention people, so that they they just wait and listen. It's like last time I think I mentioned Maciek at the end, so he had to listen to the end, the whole show. He listened, and then he texted me like, wow, great, it was great to hear my name there. All right, great guys. Like I said, we are one really small family, so everything is like, it's not a big deal, I guess, to be mentioned here, but it's nice. I think. All right, great. Masha, you wanted to ask me some before we go, of course, to the thinking out loud proper.
I got a question from a student. These students mostly are obsessed with grammar. Yeah. And they always say, okay, I need more grammar. But this time it was like this. So she said that she is struggling, making sentences. And she said, maybe you could recommend a video I could watch and learn how to build sentences in, in English. And I was like, unfortunately, there is no one video you can watch and immediately get it, this is how I make sentences, this, and then everything else in this
But
order.
what I say, I mean, it's interesting, this concept of making sentences. Is it about
Yeah.
fluency, like being fluent? Because this is at the end what the person wants, right?
This fluency, when it's assessed during during exams, that they tend, for some reason, they separate accuracy and fluency. But what is fluency without accuracy? I mean, you can just randomly, without any structure, just put words in your sentence and people will sort of understand you. And you can do it fast. Does it mean you're fluent? I'm sorry. I'm very fluent in English, but not very accurate, So
I mean, there's a reason why they separate, fluency and accuracy, because I think I know personally people who are really quite fluent, but they are lacking precision. I mean,
accuracy.
Accuracy, exactly, accuracy.
Yeah.
But
when you put it on your,
to be fluent.
But when you put it on your CV, fluent English, I'm sorry, but accuracy is implied. You don't say.
That's a great trick. But this is a great trick, You can actually say, yeah, I'm fluent, except I'm not accurate, So I'm just, blabbing some blah 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 blah, But it's easy to do, except I'm lacking accuracy, guys. But I'm fluent.
And what you are looking for is that people need to make sense. Yes, that's what you keep telling. So, but many students are not obsessed, but they would really, really, really like to be more accurate.
Yes.
So, can you share one video I can watch and become really, really good at making sentences? So how do you improve here?
I mean,
one silver bullet
about,
that
I think I
or
yeah,
whatever
but I
ails
think it's
you.
not about video. It's about
It's
audio,
about, It's about,
it's
again, lots of, say input. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you listen to other people speaking, you copy them, or maybe not intentionally, but it will happen anyway, if you listen to others speaking, then you naturally copy some of that,
Yeah, I remember only when I started teaching. I did a lot of stuff just naturally. I didn't think about what comes first and then second in the sentence, but there is, subject, verb, whatever.
Yeah, sure, you can.
And only then when I had to explain it to people, I started thinking, okay, why not like this? But because I listened a lot, I just knew that this is how it is supposed to be done. So unfortunately, there is no one silver bullet for whatever.
No, there's no silver bullet solution here. I mean, you go and listen and listen and listen. I think, some people say, babies learn fast. Yeah, right. I mean, they listen, since I guess they are in the mother's belly. And they keep listening for the next 2 years at least, and even then they are unable to build a full sentence. So they did another 2 years of listening, constant input before, they managed to crank up a sentence, that makes sense. So it's a lot of listening, a lot of input. Yeah, sure. But
so this is a silver bullet.
This is the silver bullet. Unfortunately, it's not a bullet. It's more like don't know what, but it's not a quick. Yeah, not missile. No, but it's a long process. It's a long process, but once again,
do you think it can be improved by doing lots of I don't know what?
You mean drills,
grammar,
exercises?
Yeah, exercises.
No, I think maybe, but I think the fastest way is still copying, listen and copy and paste. And I think also because what you can copy someone else speaking, of course, let's say English or the language that you learn, sure, but you can also copy yourself, because if you are an adult speaking already one language fluently, we assume, so you
maybe
could
not
copy
very
this,
accurate.
right? Then it's a matter of somehow translating your thoughts quickly into the second language. But then again,
careful with this. You cannot just
yeah,
translate word for word.
Yeah, of course. Doing it one-to-one results in some kind of errors like
strange
calques
English
and so on. Yeah, strange sounding sentences, sure. But I think at least you have, this is what I always say: the extra linguistic work that needs to be done is, I think, somehow absent, in all the teaching materials and so on. I mean, you have to use your imagination, come up with good examples, good illustrations. This is all of that happens somehow outside of language, right? But if you have good illustrations, good examples, if you think fast, I mean, you connect the dots, you do all the extra linguistic work fast, and language doesn't disturb you in doing it, then it's great. Then it's just a matter of framing this. But yeah, that's it. It's also the source of fluency for sure, not accuracy. Maybe I don't know what's the source of accuracy. Anything, again, copying, copy the model.
Notice your own mistakes.
Yeah, notice your own mistakes, but I guess this let's say awareness is growing with the more.
Yeah, because I remember this. You if you don't know something, you cannot notice it. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah,
but
exactly.
then one day oh my God, I've always been using it wrong, and you hear
These
somebody
eye
say that.
openers.
Oh
Yeah,
my God, this is terrible.
Yeah.
Pain.
And then maybe there's a little bit of
Humiliation.
unlearning to be done. Yeah, there's a little bit
Yes.
of unlearning to be done,
Yeah.
but everything's possible. I think language is pretty flexible, and you can shape it in any way you want. All right, so yeah, to answer your question, no silver bullet. I mean, I couldn't recommend one video showing how to build sentences. I mean, come on, it's not. And by the way, I always repeat that. I will repeat again. Unfortunately, languages are not yet another school subject. Something where you have the instruction, and like in maths, how to solve an equation with two unknowns, let's say. Well, yeah, I mean, there's a way to do it. There's a certain procedure that you follow.
Yeah.
But in languages, you can't do it simply. I mean, it's like there's no beginning, no end of this education, and the acquisition of language is totally different. It happens somehow unconsciously. I mean,
while you sleep,
you don't even know why. Yeah, I wish it was like that, but it happens without your knowledge. And so the best thing you can do is to do things in language, but not really learn language. It's actually what we do. We answer questions, right? We are not interested in the syntax or the grammar that we use. We are not. We are interested in the truth.
We want to do our best, I believe, with grammar and syntax.
Yeah, but this is how you learn. I mean, you focus on the question. You focus on the answer. I mean, the finding the answer, the truth, ideally, and somehow,
and then
language
also
happens,
making your the person you're talking to see it your way. So you need to find the right. Yeah.
Okay. So this is a task. This is what we do is the so-called TBLT. It's task-based language teaching, because the question is the task, and you have to solve the task. I mean, do it, answer the question. So and you I mean, I always wanted my questions to be easy and difficult at the same time. They are easy because they are easy to understand. What's the difference between A and B? It's easy to understand, but then it's not easy to verbalize it, right? But you feel somehow the difference at the bottom of your, I don't know, heart or brain. But you feel it. I know it, but it's just a matter of of getting there. And it's great. And you forget about the language somehow. You just build your answer. You want to express your thoughts. That's it.
You're making it sound, I mean, it's not really fair, because you don't think about the language, because, well, to be honest, you are both accurate and fluent, so some things happen already. Many processes are already automated for you, but you have to admit that for many people it's a double difficulty. Yeah, they have to think about what to say and how to say it. Well,
but even like, I mean, I'm unaware
for me,
of it.
it's also double difficulty. I always think about the language.
But me too. You think I'm speaking like what? I mean,
yeah, like a god,
Quit it.
Level god.
No, come on. I mean, I guess, if someone wanted, they could stop the recording and find lots of, I don't know, issues,
I
in
hope
this
not
language,
lots of, but yeah, of course.
but some,
Yeah.
But
yes.
I stopped
Freaking
giving,
out about it.
I stopped worrying about it.
Mhm.
I think it happened to me, I guess, some time ago, long time ago. I remember when I first presented at a conference, international conference, and then after the conference, because your presentation is prepared beforehand. You have the necessary vocab and everything, but
Mhm.
but after the conference, we went to a bar, and the conversation there was difficult. It was difficult for me. It was like, what the hell, I'm not myself. I'm struggling. I'm thinking too slow. Before I even tell a joke, they are already far away, or before I even understand something. So to me, it was kind of, I won't say humiliating, but it was a disappointment. Come on, here I am, an English teacher, and I struggle to keep up with the natives, of course, and so on. But then, the next year, I guess, or I can't remember, the very next year, or 2 years after that, I presented again, and there was again, we went to the bar and the couloirs, discussions. And I just stopped giving a damn about it. I mean, I am who I am. I'm not going to pretend I'm.
And I guess if you have something interesting to say, people will listen.
Yeah.
So work on
And
that better. Yeah, on having something interesting to say than constantly improving.
I managed, I think, from the psychological perspective, I managed to overcome this desire to blend in with the target language speakers. So if you learn French, you want to be a Frenchman, you want to become a Frenchman, you want to be
how did
part of
you
this
get
society.
rid of it?
I don't know.
I
think it's why.
I saw one clever advice coming, and piece of
but
advice.
There's no one clever. You have to be. I think what's really important is that you have to build the sense of your identity. You need to know who you are, and sometimes language can fool you and make you think that, hey, maybe I could become an American, or maybe I could become a British citizen, but not even formally, with passports and so on, but at least phonetically or language wise. But I think it's a wrong perception, and I luckily, I always liked being who I am. That is, being Polish. I never,
pretended.
I know that I never pretended. Yeah, there is this. It's a typical. I think it's typical that when people ask you, where are you from? And let's say you haven't been born in the capital city, but in some kind of a small town or even a village, which was my case, And so usually people say, I'm from, and this is the nearest, the biggest city nearby, So I'm from there. I'm not from my whatever's the name of my small community, but because you are, I don't know, kind of, you don't want to, you don't want the people to kind of frown and say, where, what, but they already know, okay, you're from there. Okay, fine. But, in my case, I always took some kind of pleasure and pride speaking, telling exactly where I'm from. I say Wonchnik, some people say,
So you
what?
didn't want to save
I mean,
people
where is it?
embarrassment, that they don't know where it is.
Yeah, but I never met with that kind of reaction, that any kind of embarrassment. I mean, this is all in your head, when you think that, okay, if I say, my small town or my village, people are going to, I don't know, mock me or whatever, but I never had a problem with that, and there was a funny situation once, because I was going by tram. Was it in, I can't remember where was it exactly, but there were football hooligans going,
Mhm.
and suddenly they asked me, where are you from?
All of a sudden?
Yeah, because based on the answer, they either beat you up or they let you go.
Okay.
Because there are like and I said, I'm from Washington. These guys are like, why? What the hell is that? So say, no, here you are, a village man who's unassociated with any football club. I'm not supporting this. I'm not supporting that. I'm just a guy from nowhere, and they let me go. But I don't know if I answered, if you sometimes, there are places where the answer really can decide about whether you live or die,
Yeah, of course, if you live in the city, or, I don't know if it was a Manchester and some other day when you happen to be from Manchester.
If you say that,
you're dead. You're
and
dead.
so on. Yeah. I mean, if you tell the wrong side of the river or whatever, I mean, the fence, exactly. You may end up losing your teeth. But but I think so these this story is also relevant to I guess this broader identity building, because you need to know who you are, where you are from. And by the way, I'm not really like a local patriot or something, like, oh, I value my hometown above everything else and so on. Not at all. I don't even like the place where I was born. No, to be honest, because it's not interesting. I mean, geographically and whatever, it's not even attractive as a place. But I don't have any let's say I don't know, reservations or any kind of shame admitting where I'm from.
So you don't think the place the place where you were born defines you in a way?
It defines us, of course, just like our jobs and everything. Who are you as a, as a. That's why some people also would like to hide where they are from, what is their profession, and so on. Hide it, but don't know from who and why and so on, because I don't think there's anything that is that should be the reason of shame and so on. But but people always want to say that I'm from New York and I'm this or that. But I just hope that these days are slowly coming to an end, when the local was thought to be worse. Because we if you observe the trends, globalization is kind of on the wane. It's already a concept that is being criticized. And then on the other side, I guess it started with local breweries, the revival of local breweries. Because there used to be just the big breweries, the huge corporations producing beer that didn't even taste like beer, and then something happened, and some private small capital came to people started to invest in local breweries. And right now in Poland, at least, in Spain the same. France is kind of lagging behind, but they are not really a beer nation, unless I don't know, unless I haven't explored it yet, but especially the north. But in Poland, it's like each town right now has its own brewery, small brewery, and I know that capital wise it could be still the big guys owning the small breweries and just hiding behind this. You need to be careful, but yeah, I mean, there's a lot of good beer right now. a lot of good local beer, and this local localism, let's call it like that, is fashionable again.
Yeah, I agree.
So I think this, how does this translate on your linguistic self-confidence? I don't know, but knowing who you are and having your identity kind of firmly set on the ground, I guess helps. It helps.
Definitely.
All right, great. Sorry for this. I think we took it to another level. This introduction or small talk or whatever. Time for thinking out loud proper.
I think it is time. Yes.
All right, great. So before I ask you, I'd like to share some sounds here. So why not? Are you ready for round one?
I am.
All right, guys, spontaneous conversation. Masha doesn't know the question I'm going to ask her. And
no idea.
We'll see, how she deals with it. Round one. All right. What's the difference between image and reputation? Everybody has, I guess, both, unless ordinary people don't have reputation. But we have some image and sometimes a reputation. You have a reputation as a teacher, I guess.
I think today we don't use, we call image brand, even for people.
Oh, yes,
personal
brand.
Yeah.
Personal brand, yeah. But this is still image, right?
Yeah. Okay. So, reputation. Do you want a short answer or a long answer?
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'd like to hear a long answer because it means more blabbing, more sentences. Unless we risk being more boring, but hopefully not. You're never boring. Come on.
I guess your image or brand is what you, well, both of them, it takes time to build them, right? Both.
Yeah.
And both of them can be destroyed in an instant.
You mean you could destroy, give me an example of destroying an image and destroying reputation.
Well, in reputation, you just, okay, teacher, yes, you have a good reputation as a teacher. You, I don't know, you make a mistake or terrible mistake.
Someone accuses you of sexual harassment.
No.
No.
Well, today, unfortunately, yes.
Or even pedophilia.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
I know. Sorry, but this is how you destroy reputation, someone's reputation,
Okay, but when you are at a teaching conference and you talk bullshit, you destroy your own reputation.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, this may be a better example.
I mean, yeah, with this sexual harassment, but we talk about professional. This is really funny because today you can be, will you say, Jesus, which model should I use? Okay.
Take a look at her. Look at her. I mean, yeah, she's thinking about language.
I'm destroying my reputation. I'm destroying my reputation. Would you say you could be a bad person, but a good professional?
Yeah.
So these are two different things.
Like Dr. House.
I honestly don't think he's a bad person.
But he was.
He's a good person in a difficult.
But
he was a really nice
also
asshole.
a great expert.
I can't believe you watch TV shows. I thought you only read books.
I've just watched a couple of episodes, but
okay.
I think the character was well designed,
Wasting your time on popular culture. Yeah, but today you can, I mean, these are separate things. Your professional reputation, you're a great doctor, let's say, but you're an asshole. You turned out to be sexual scandal or whatever, but it destroys your reputation as a person. But why should it automatically cancel all your achievements in your professional field? Why does it happen like this?
But wait.
We are sidetracking a little bit, but
give me an example of destroying reputation. Okay, you say that. Okay, you go to.
You said
to a conference.
Sexual harassment. It destroys your reputation, but you don't stop if you harass somebody sexually, it doesn't stop you, you know, you're still a good doctor.
It doesn't erase your achievements for sure, but you
But
are no
nobody will go and
longer.
see you. You will be
Yeah.
cancelled.
Yeah.
So what the why?
I mean, what I mean,
You don't want to see a
it's
doctor who sexually
what
harassed his
suffers. But
secretary.
wait a second, it's not easy because you know the question is about the difference between image and reputation. You say both take time to build, both are easy to damage or even destroy.
Yeah.
But in the case of let's say the sexual harassment, I guess what is actually suffering here? Image, reputation, both.
Both,
I guess.
even your person, like even you as a person. Nobody will, you will lose friends, you will lose everything today.
Mm-hmm.
Well, it depends on the country. I mean, in Ukraine, no, sorry. But in America, yes. No?
But what is but let's go to fundamentals.
Yes,
You know, what is
okay.
image? What is image?
Image is what you want people to know about you, what you let them know about you.
So this is what you post on social media, and you build your image.
Yes.
All
you
right.
only show them, like, let's say if you are I always use this because I ask this question a lot, and I always use this example. Let's say I'm running for mayor, yeah, and I know because I've done, you know, lots of surveys and I have spin doctors, and they tell me that most of my voters are pet lovers, and it so happens that I hate dogs, you know, and cats, and for that matter, any animals. So what do? I need to build an image of a dog lover. I would need to go to dog shelters. I would need to donate money to dog shelters. I would need to post pictures with dogs, you know. But this is, I'm building an image, you know.
Yeah. There's this typical, you know, the typical situation when the politicians running for any kind of office, they love to post pictures with children. You know, they're family guys, but in fact they might be, you know, 3 times divorced or what's, I don't know.
But reputation is it travels by word of mouth, you know. You have very little control because people will see what they see. It's not what you want, what you're willing to show them. They will see what maybe you wouldn't want them to see, but they will see. They will visit you at home, and you will, of course, it will be, if no matter how you control yourself, they will see in your, you know, random or maybe one gesture how you treat
it's interesting that you have little. You say you have little control over your reputation, but maybe I'm just thinking, you know, but because what about let's say you have a restaurant, you're running a restaurant, and people rate your restaurant on Google or any other you know, what's the name for?
Okay, they rate your restaurant. Okay,
TripAdvisor, you know, all the things, you know. And well, you could hire some fake accounts to rate your restaurant as a 5-star top class, you know, restaurant, and they would totally outnumber, you know, the dissatisfied users, real users, and this way you would kind of control your reputation, wouldn't you?
For reputation, I would ask my friends, my, you know, students, have you ever been to this restaurant? And I listen to what they will tell me.
So you want to say that okay, yeah, of course, the voice of your friends weighs more than some kind of anonymous
internet
Google
trolls
rating, or
bot farms.
All right. Yeah. But it's interesting, you know. Okay, so but I'm thinking, you know, because you say that no matter what you do,
for reputation, you need
better.
to deliver. You need to do good work. For image, you need to post nice pictures.
Can you imagine? Yeah, that's great. I like that's clever, you know. But can you imagine? Can you imagine a mix, like a great reputation and bad image? A person with great reputation, but unfortunately, you know, a bad image.
Well, it wouldn't be bad. It would be just, it just wouldn't be. People will not know about you. I mean, not a lot of people like you, for example. You have very good reputation, but only a small circle of people know about you. You're not on Rogan's show.
Yeah. Yeah. Why am I not
You
there
don't
yet?
have an image.
I don't have an image, you say? Well, yeah, you're right. I mean, it's totally botched, you know. I mean, I'm just I was thinking about that, like, you know, what I'm doing on Twitter and
I don't
Instagram,
even know with Instagram, it's not
even
really good for your image. Sorry, all these filters and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
Thank
sorry
God
for
you
that once
stopped
again.
doing this.
Well, you you make me say sorry again for that. But you know, the thing is that I don't have any policy regarding my image. Like, you know, I'm a guy who's, you know, an expert on languages, you know, and I'm a great teacher, blah blah. You know, what I do on Twitter is like semi-private stuff, you know, observations from France, and sometimes I also talk about the thinking out loud or something. But I'm totally, I think, I mean, I definitely have an image. I mean, people would have to ask people about it, but I totally don't control it, and I totally don't pay attention to it, which is bad, I guess.
Well, I mean, to develop an image, you need to work on it. But your reputation, it's created automatically by your good work. Your students will recommend you. It travels by word of mouth. I think 100 years ago, image, it was impossible to have, you know, to create an image which is not you. Let's say you hate dogs, but you create an image of a dog lover. It wouldn't have been possible without social media.
Your favorite sheriff of Nottingham.
In a small town, everybody knows you. Everybody, you know, no matter what you post, what you write, what newspapers write about you.
Yeah, I know, but I'm thinking about, you know, the sheriff of Nottingham from Robin Hood.
Yeah.
You know, he was, I think, he had, you know, like two faces. First was the one, you know, when he faced the crowds and, you know, the public, and second, his private. I mean, it's always like that, right? We are different people in private life, different people in public life. And it doesn't matter if it's Middle Ages or in the era of the internet. And of course, right now,
but today it's somehow blended, you know, like with, you can do something which has absolutely no relation to your job, and this thing will ruin your career.
Yeah, that was the case of Tiger Woods, who had a sexual scandal, and I guess, you know, it ruined his career for a while, at least. I know he lost.
Yeah, this is what happens today with all this, you know, cancel culture.
This is interesting. You know, I'm wondering, referring to today, you know, about the image of Russia in France. It's still very good, still very positive. You know, with Tchaikovsky and Dostoevsky, you know, and that kind of, you know, soft. It's called soft power of Russia is still very strong. I feel like it's very strong here, whereas in reality, you know, it's kind of, you know.
But again, why do you mention? Oh my God, Tchaikovsky. How? What I really, again, I cannot. It's so complicated now. Until this shit show is over, you cannot really discuss these things, because now it's all very difficult. But why should I stop listening to Tchaikovsky because of what this dwarf is doing today?
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
After 2 world wars, we don't stop reading Goethe, you know, listening to Beethoven.
Absolutely right. You know what? But I had similar thoughts, because on my Spotify, the Wrapped for the year, but I'm talking about music, not the podcast, but music. There were, I guess, 2 Russian groups, you know, near the top. So, and it feels like, oh my God,
you know, about modern Russian groups, then of course it's very different, because you are basically paying money. They get money when you listen to their songs, and this money goes
you don't know
in taxes
these people.
to.
I mean.
No. It's a little bit different. You're sponsoring the war right now if you're listening to Russian bands.
All right.
Because they get money every time you listen to their songs. They pay taxes in Russia. These taxes, what? Where do they go, do you think?
Yeah, sure.
To hospitals?
But then again, I mean, yeah, you're right. You're right. The same refers to, I don't know, Russian computer games, whatever. We don't even sometimes know the origin of that, With music is easier because, the language is there. But even they could even sing in English, But yeah, I know that Tchaikovsky is long dead, but I don't know who gets paid.
Yeah, who gets paid?
Who gets paid when you listen to Tchaikovsky on Spotify? I mean, someone gets paid, right? And maybe it's his family, I don't know who has the the rights, the copyrights, or if the copyrights are still there, but someone gets paid. I mean,
yeah, it's an interesting question. I need to.
So what? You listen to Tchaikovsky's concert, you sponsor the regime. I mean,
I hope not.
Yeah, but you see, that's wow, this is complicated. But we are drifting away from image and reputation. But I guess it has been pretty much solved by you already. I mean, by this clever, this clever observation that that you have to that image is what you post, the pictures that you post, and reputation is what people say, right?
Yeah, in a nutshell. Yeah.
What's easier to build, by the way? Because you say that both take time, but
today I think image is much easier to build. I mean, you don't even have to put in good work. Yeah. You can trick anybody today with flashing smile and
the same refers to websites. You can have a really nice, slick website.
Oh yeah.
And wow, it's cool. This product is cool. All these teachers look at studiomentals.com.
Yeah.
Wow, they have to be
just two, I don't know, losers chin wagging in the next bathroom.
All right. Thanks a lot for podcast. What about
round 2?
Oh, I can't choose, between the traditional question and something I heard. I'm watching now, dropping some names and creating an image of an intellectual. I'm listening to, do you know this Timothy Snyder, historian?
Yeah, sure.
And he is teaching a course on Ukraine in Yale, and they recorded his lectures and they put them online on YouTube. So I'm watching his lectures right now.
The history of the country, or what is it?
Yeah, the making of modern Ukraine is called.
All right.
It's interesting. It's very interesting. Yeah. And
I'm taking this down,
I'll send you the link. It's they made it for they made it free for people. They recorded these lectures and they're very recent. He actually mentions, I'm listening to 4th or 5th, and he mentions the counter assault in Kharkiv Oblast, which happened at the beginning of September. So they very recent.
Wow. But this is on YouTube, or
on YouTube.
You have to access Yale?
On YouTube.
Right, great.
So, of course, he is looking into. It's much more interesting than my son's course book on history, I must tell you. And I'm sometimes reading this when there is no electricity, and he has, a pile of course books, and I just pick randomly. I need to brush up on my chemistry and physics, because of all these conversations we're having.
Why should you? I mean,
to keep up with you, of course. You are so smart, so I have to keep up.
Why? You just asked me about it. Doesn't. All right, thank you.
Okay, well, never mind. And he asked a very interesting question yesterday, and I went to bed, and in the morning I had a class. I didn't have time to properly, think about it. But listen to this. He, of course, talks about how important the language is for formation of nation, state, whatever. And the question is, I don't know if there's anything behind it.
Oh, come on.
Okay.
I'm already,
The question is, do you speak the language, or does the language speak you? He talked a little bit about
this. Is the age-old dilemma. If
oh, come on, you are again making me look so stupid. Like it's an age-old and I just discovered it.
But no, who was it? Wait a second. Was it Wittgenstein or that's the famous
you always outdo me, I drop a name and you drop an even bigger name. Thank you.
Wait. Wait.
I will never catch up.
Sorry. Does you speak the language? This is what I said. Do you speak the language, or does language speak you?
Yeah.
It kind of, the first echo in my head was Wittgenstein, and his, the limit of my world is the limit of my language is the limit of my world. Whatever. Everybody knows it. I can't quote it. You guys go and Google.
Go and Google
the
it.
limits of my wait a second. Wittgenstein limits. Oh, I hate this Wittgenstein quotes. All right, great. It will be the first one. The limits of my language means the limits of my world. Come on.
You were very close.
Okay, I was close.
Okay. Yeah.
But so it kind of reminds me, what was Snyder asking this question?
Yeah.
All right. So do you speak language? The language speaks you. So it means that your language defines your, let's say, world and yourself also.
Or even predefines, because the language had been there when you were born.
Exactly.
It just had been there.
And there are rare instances when there is some innovation in language. I mean, no, really.
Yeah.
No, they are not rare.
It's changing, but very, very slowly.
Well, I don't know. If you read a book from 100 years ago or 50 years ago, it's a different language.
Yeah, well, slowly. I mean, comparing to, let's say, new iPhone every year.
Oh yeah, okay, fine. You're right. So it's actually very slow.
It's all relative, relativity.
But yeah, it's a great question, and it's do you speak language, or does the language speak you? I would, there is no answer to it unless there is some research, but I don't even know what would that be.
No, not even research, but when you said that the place where you were born, it kind of defines you. I mean, of course, when you talk about a small village, it's not very telling, this example. But if you go bigger, let's say the country.
It constitutes. Sorry, but it's a great set of questions because it spans everything. But it defines your image, kind of. I mean, your image is definitely affected if you are from New York or if you are from Kozhavulka.
You mean how people see you immediately?
Yeah. What is the equivalent of Kozhavulka in Ukraine, by the way? Because Kozhavulka is like, at the end of the world. It's like, and it's a real name.
It's a real name.
Yeah, but do you have any kind of a hack hole that is, used?
We say какой-то Замухранск. Замухранск.
All right. But
or for example, I live in a village which is called Ivanivka. So the name is Ivan. It means that it's called after Ivan, And if you look at the map of Ukraine, you will find, I don't know, maybe, well, I don't want to lie. 1,255 Ivanivkas. Yeah. You see, or Petrivka. Yeah.
All right. But I just wanted to say that you said that the place where you were born definitely affects your image.
Affects or defines you?
It doesn't define you at all. I mean,
the country.
I'm just thinking about myself. Sorry, the country, but it is different because you talk about. I mean, the place, and I mean physically, like the buildings, the streets. They have nothing to do with your, I think, mindset and so on. There's a blackout or what?
No.
Because you're frozen. No, you're not.
No.
All right, sorry, but. All right, I'm kind of living under this threat.
Yeah.
But it has nothing to do with your mindset, or very little, because.
But yeah, when we talk about a small village, but if you kind of extend it a little bit, and you don't have to say I'm from Ivanivka, you can say I'm from Poland. This definitely defines you.
Yeah, it defines you for sure, but it's different because it's definitely the language defines you for sure. But it's not enough, I guess, to say that the language speaks you. I mean, that the language defines all of you. It defines some of the things. I think even character features.
But do you think your personality changes a little bit once you master another language?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. It changes. In fact, you know, your personality changes in the foreign language when you speak it, even imperfect.
Yeah.
I remember my experience with French kids or teenagers when I was with them as
in a summer camp.
Yes, there were scouts. You know, with scouts. You know, I was there, and yeah, I was totally a different person. You know, because all I had was French. I tried not to use English. You know, I kind of decided to use French. You know, whatever. It was very poor French, by the way. But yeah, I turned into an extreme introvert. You know, and it changed my character.
French are introverts.
I changed. I turned into an introvert,
because
having
your
only
language
French
was poor
at my disposal. Yeah, but still, you know, it changed my character.
Okay, now when your French is much better, do you think?
I guess. Yeah. I mean.
I'm not saying that you're struggling in the second language. I'm quite I want to.
No, it changes your character for sure. It changes your character. I think.
When you start understanding humor in different language, there are many cultural references and stuff like this. So you are, well, it's not that you're a different, but you become a better or different. Maybe not necessarily better.
I was, you know, I remember my conversation with my wife before we came to France. You know, before the decision. You know, we were thinking that because originally we had a 3-year contract, you know, contract here. So I was thinking that, yeah, it's great, you know, let's go, because after, no, I wasn't like that. Actually, I didn't want to go. But still, after I decided that, yeah, we are going, okay, it was decided, the primary advantage that I saw back then was that after 2 years, we'll be different people. Richer, but not in terms of money, but richer in terms of experience, you know, and having this additional soul, or let's say our soul enriched by another language, another culture, you know, and so on. But am I like
different?
Are
you less Polish?
No, definitely not. In fact, I think I'm even more Polish here. Because, you know, suddenly when you're away,
that's what
you know, my stay here emphasizes everything that is Polish in me. So, you know, I'm definitely not less Polish, I guess. You know, I'm even more Polish. You know, because
how
suddenly,
often do you speak Polish?
Well, all the time. You know.
You work 6-7 hours a day. I hope you speak English.
Yeah, of course, a little bit. No, I'm kidding. We are speaking English mostly in classes. Sometimes just rarely, but sometimes Polish. But at home, I speak Polish. Come on. I mean, with my wife,
for
with
a couple
kids.
of hours.
Yeah, a couple of hours. But then, I use, and then I listen
you
to
speak
podcasts.
English
you know,
more than you speak English more than you speak Polish.
No, I don't know. I never measured this, you know.
Simple math. How many hours you sleep? Like 8. Then you work.
Yeah, but then I'm not working like 8 hours each day, you know. So no, I think Polish is number one.
Well, you spend how many hours this marché? You speak French.
Yeah, but there is French, you know. But then, you know, every time I speak English or French, I think in Polish, so it should count as Polish all the time, you know.
Yeah. Well, thinking is also.
Yeah. Because, you know, this language. You know,
I lost you for 10 seconds. Please repeat.
Sorry. Okay. But it's funny because you were still there, you know, moving and all that. But I want to say that I feel like a foreigner, you know.
Still feel like
an
a foreigner.
An outsider. So when I look at what's happening here, I look through the eyes of an outsider, you know. It's you know, it's not my kind of, you know, I would say my world, but I'm not so much engaged, you know. Whatever happens, you know, if the French,
it's not your water and your fish.
Yeah. If the French decide to, I don't know, change this or do that, I say, okay, you know, I'm a guest here. I'm an outsider, you know. I can't influence
Yeah,
what's
I
happening.
understand, of course, exactly how you feel. But it looks like language doesn't speak you, language thinks you. No?
Thanks me. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it changes your head for sure, but in what way, I don't know. Because like I said, on the one hand, it changes you. I mean, adds something new, but on the other side, it emphasizes the old, you know, and you realize
What about
suddenly.
this? In the language, let's say in English, there is no masculine and feminine, right?
Right.
So isn't it at all surprising that all this gender equality started in the countries and is now in full swing where English is the language, the main spoken language?
You mean it should have started in?
No. This is not surprising because they don't think like this. You know, they are, when they say you to you, they don't make a differentiate if you're a man or a woman. So it's
you're right, and there are
maybe.
there's no inflection, you know. There's sure. I mean, English is great for that purpose, you know. I mean, there are lots of attempts in Polish. Not sure about French, I'm not monitoring this, but in Polish for sure, but lots of attempts to, let's say, desexualize certain, you know, positions, professions, you know, and so on. And it's, you know, the result is very often bizarre, you know.
It's very much the contrary in Ukraine. They last year they introduced new rules in the language where you have a separate name for each job if it's a feminine.
Oh yeah, but these are two, I think, parallel trends, because you're right. There are also suddenly like,
we didn't used to have
trend,
them.
Yeah,
we would
one
just say
trend
a
is
doctor,
to,
and I would say doctoress.
Yeah, exactly. But these are, I think, this is, I guess, you're right, absolutely right. You know, I'm sorry if I misled you, but this is the most, I guess, common thing happening right now, that suddenly a politician is not a politician for both sexes, but it's a politician and a politicianess, you know, or there's the ending, you know, for feminine ending. But there's also let's say a trend to not to mention the sex, because you know that there are people who don't identify as either men or women. So what about them? So they also have a special name, like, you know, it's like an individual, something like that.
Are they
you know, it's not even a man or a woman. Binary people, I think.
Yeah.
Non-binary.
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 Okay.
I guess. Yeah. Oh, sorry, guys.
Put my foot on it. Sorry, didn't mean any. No offense.
I just fine, but coming back to this language, does it define us? Yeah, I mean, yes, it does. It does, but I deeply believe that no matter how many languages you speak, if it's just one or seven or more, you as a person, deep inside, you can still control what you are thinking, and ultimately what you are building in this language, you know, what you are saying.
Yeah, but you have to follow the rules of the language. You cannot just simply, you know, break all the rules because I don't like this word, let me use a different word. Let me create a different word for this. No, unfortunately, you have absolutely no freedom here. The language had been there when you were born. You just need to learn it. What you can do with it is, yes, it's of course up to you.
It's funny because, you know, in my private life, I'm a total pawn. I mean, there is a psychological test. You know, you measure whether you're a pawn or a boss. I think this is these two. If you're a pawn, it means that you don't believe that you have any kind of agency. Things happen to you, and you know, whatever happens, it happens. You know, and you don't even try and change things. And on the other side, you have the boss who who believes that she has the agency, can change everything, and everything's in your own hands. You just need to work hard for it. But I'm not like totally
You
a
took
pawn,
this
but more.
test?
Yeah, I took it, but a long time ago. I don't know what would be the result today.
Okay.
But I was more towards the pawn, and I
Uh-huh.
think that things happen. You don't have much influence on that, no matter how hard you work or whatever. Sorry. But now when you ask me about this, I believe that in language, you're actually the boss, more like a boss. I mean, that you can actually do whatever you want. You are not a slave of any kind of syntax, that you have to build a sentence like that. You have to think like this.
Or you can
But
speak
obviously,
you can speak like Yoda.
Oh yeah, but I'm not talking about breaking the rules or grammar rules, but I'm
I'm
talking about
talking about grammar rules. They're very
but
strict and stiff.
what do the grammar rules have to do with the semantics? I mean, the meaning.
But
You can express
okay,
any meaning.
even tenses. If I make mistakes, sometimes I'm sure you've heard a sentence like this many times. When a student makes two mistakes, it happens sometimes, and he tells you, tomorrow we go whatever, and you're panicking. Did he mean, because they often confuse tomorrow and yesterday, did he use the wrong tense? And you're definitely lost. You don't know, he went there yesterday or he's going to go there tomorrow. This is a breakdown in communication.
Yes.
Oh, thank you.
But wait. So what's your point? I mean,
you have to follow the rules to express what
you have to
want to say.
You have to indicate the time. It's not about.
You cannot call tomorrow yesterday, even if you really like it. This word, yesterday, means yesterday.
Yeah, you can.
Tomorrow means tomorrow. Or you can invent your own language like Tolkien and then teach people this language and speak with them in the language you really like.
Yeah, but I don't see this as an obstacle in expressing
it's not an obstacle, but it's something you have to just learn and follow
it's
these
like
rules.
It's like a musical instrument. I mean, you have a guitar with 6 strings, you play the guitar with 6 strings. If you have a violin, you play the violin, but you can express something using any kind of instrument.
No, music has in music there's no meaning.
Oh, I know there are people who could argue with that. I'm not one of them, but for sure. I mean, you can express something, right? I mean, express your emotions.
Feelings, emotions, not meaning.
Right. But what, language doesn't express emotions or feelings?
Yeah, but through meaning. Music is doing it through, I don't know, sounds.
And what if I say
and there is no limits to the combinations you can make with these sounds, but language is different. You cannot go and invent new words right and left. People will not understand you.
Well, I don't know. I'm not so sure, because in at least in Polish, you could say kurwa mać when you are super happy, when you are extremely sad.
Yeah, but you still use this word, and everybody knows what kurwa means. You cannot invent a new word, let's say chrimosa, and start using it as a curse word. People will think, okay, what does it mean? Nobody knows this word.
Yeah, but I'm okay. I know what you mean, but I'm not buying this as this is some kind of if this is an argument for saying that language speaks you, that language kind of traps you.
Not no, traps. I don't want to use the word traps, but like that in some languages there are words that don't even, there is not even a concept for this in your language. You know that?
Yes. Yeah, sure.
So what does it do to you as a mind, as what, I don't know.
But they are called idioms, right? These expressions that are not translatable, that you cannot translate directly.
No, not translate. There is not even a concept. That some languages concept, we don't even understand what they're saying.
But you can understand it. You
Sanskrit.
can understand it. There is no, but I mean, there is a concept in French to be dépaysanné, and that means to be out of your element, kind of out of your you feel strange, it's like a Frenchman who goes abroad, they feel best when they are at home, but when they go abroad, when they don't understand the culture, the language, blah blah, they are dépaysannés, and it's not translatable like directly, but you can still
but the concept is
English.
There in your language. You understand the concept. I'm talking about the situation when you don't even understand the concept. It's very, very rare. It's very, very well, because you don't speak these languages.
Yeah, right.
I can't, of course, come up with a good example, but they're very, very exotic languages. Sanskrit, for some reason, comes to mind, but of course they talk about very difficult stuff, and we, mere mortals, don't even understand what they're talking.
So maybe it's a reason of intellectual capacity, not really of I don't know what. Maybe if you grow.
Okay, if you use, let's say, people who invented Esperanto, they said that, okay, it's now a very, very simple language, so you don't need a lot of intelligence to speak it. So again, it defines you if you only use very, very simple language.
Yes. Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I mean, but the influence is really hard to measure and so on. I mean, our people look at this. English is a simple language.
Well, we don't want to measure it. We just want to.
No, but English is a simple language. What it actually changes is not your
English
intellect.
Is not a simple language. I'm sorry.
It is compared to French.
Look at the number in terms of grammar.
Yeah, I mean grammar, even grammar,
Yeah, okay, grammar is maybe easier than
Polish,
Icelandic
take
grammar.
Polish and English. Take Polish and English.
Grammar is more difficult, but it doesn't mean. Very often, students say, "Oh, English is it's not rich," but it is. But maybe you just learn
it's rich lexically, but it's not rich syntactically, or it's not really rich in terms of the structure. It's actually very poor. I mean, this is English is a language for taxi drivers. It's not French used to be the language of diplomacy, where the ambassadors met and they spoke French, and this was the proper language to express the delicate issues, that
so you see, it defines you.
It kind of defines, but right now everything is happening in English, and what?
Because people got stupider.
And these taxi drivers and chauffeurs, I don't know, but it's about culture. It's not about language. It's about culture. It's not about intellect or anything. It's about culture, some stuff like tact, like I know, some kind of respect, because we have this third person pronouns for strangers.
Tact requires intelligence.
Yeah, but no, that is, I don't know. It's just culture, maybe. But would you say that the English are less clever when they don't use the third person for strangers, but they go directly as saying you?
It's not tact. It's just how they do things.
This is their culture, yeah, but it's their culture. But they have a way to express, some kind of polite, in a polite way. They could be very polite, but never as polite as the French, for example. Having the specific pronouns. Vous, vous êtes, and it's not like you are, but
you are.
It's like, yeah, it's I mean, it's a beautiful.
So you don't think that language defines you?
I don't believe it, because I think that at the end of the day we are sort of free, not like entirely free.
As Bill Gates.
Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. If you master, but this is again a question of mastering the language. It's like, are you free if you get a piano and you start playing? I mean, the very first day, are you free? Of course not, because you hit it like a monkey.
And so what?
No. So what? So you produce crap, not music.
But with language, if you start using, random words or even invent your own words, it will be the same.
Or if you break the rules of grammar and so on, but you can master the language and become a poet.
Yeah.
And then it's this language is in your hands like a violin in the hands of a skillful
first you need to
violinist.
master it. It's already there. You have very little freedom. You have to master it, and then you will have freedom.
Guitar is already there, but you don't have to invent another instrument. You could, but there's no need for it because
before you improvise, you learn the basic stuff. You have to be really good, become really good with this instrument, and only then you can improvise. So first you need to learn the rules, and then you can break the rules.
Yes.
Oh Jesus, wasn't this clever?
And break free. Wasn't that clever?
Okay, that's the end of. I think we should call it a night before we say something stupid and spoil everything.
No, great. Thanks a lot. Wow, guys. Thanks if you have stayed here, till this
long
moment.
Episode.
Have we been arguing?
Yeah.
I don't know. Kind of,
Yeah.
But I'm not saying I don't know. First, I need to go and see Snyder's videos about Ukraine. It sounds interesting. And I haven't seen it, but you recommend it, so we can both recommend it to our.
Well, I mean, if you're interested in history of Ukraine, then I don't know if you are.
That's the most popular country right now on the planet,
And he actually explains, because the narrative that was taught to all other people around the world misled them into making wrong predictions about this war.
Yeah.
Because you think that Ukraine is something that not really real, is just a part of Russia.
Then
of course, what do you expect? The war will be over in 3 days. They stand no chance. That's why they they were so wrong about it.
Yeah. Great. Thanks for listening to everyone. That was you say the phrase, because I was about to say it. But
okay, we're wrapping up.
I've already mentioned,
What about our website?
Yeah, the website. Do you know it?
No, you say it. I memorized only the last line.
Oh, fine. Okay, great. It's studiomentals.com.
Oh yeah, of course.
Please visit us if you want. You could also find some, useful information there, and of course, the contact. If you want to study with us, if you want to answer whether image and reputation differ or they don't,
or if you want to be on the show,
if you'd like to be on the show, then again, of course, but I doubt anyone will actually send us
we dare you
saying I want to be on the show, but just
maybe we should
I will
offer a prize. A free class?
A free class or something? I don't know.
We're so desperate to offer free classes.
We'll find guests here. I'm pretty sure, next year. Okay. Fine.
So this was another episode of the Thinking Out Loud podcast. Thank you, everyone, for listening. Stay tuned for the next one. Bye-bye.